what zero trust means to you, and specifically how it impacts your day-to-day. So Jason is our guest from Proofpoint. You want to kick us off here?
I would love to. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody for taking the time to listen to us with our crazy ideas and thought processes. But we would love to help out. And anything at the end of this, if you have any questions that we don't get answered today, reach out to us. Just make sure you know that, right? So zero trust. So we were talking about this before, Zach and I I have an engineering background before. And what I used to think about zero trust was IPX, SPX with NetWare. Yes, I'm older. Yes, I used to implement NetWare, right? So that's what I always thought was IP to IPX, SPX. For those engineers out there that know what I'm talking about, that was what I thought zero trust was. Now, as I've gotten older, I've been in the security industry for 20 plus years, everything is zero trust. And I would love to hear what my panels say about this, but here's what I would say. Everything in your life is zero trust. Do you leave your front door open? If you do, then that's not zero trust. But if you lock it, if you have a security system, if you have a camera, if you make sure that you know who's in your house and who's not, that's zero trust. Your passwords to get on your bank accounts, to do your stocks, to do everything, that's zero trust. You need to have some kind of security in place to make sure to keep out the bad guys. And that's what zero trust is to me. But I think, let me pass it over to Dennis. I want to hear what you have to say, Dennis, and then we can kind of open this up because Zach's a talker. So let's start with Dennis.
Yeah, zero trust is, I agree with you 100%, Jason. It's been around for a long time and everything is zero trust. It really means to trust nothing and verify everything. And especially in today's world where you don't know where people are working from. They could be working from home, could be working from a coffee shop, they could be working from one of their competitors, with the competition. You just don't know where people are accessing information or their applications and what devices they're using. So zero trust is a principle that kind of brings everything together into a framework where you can start applying these principles into your real world. Case in point, conditional access. You don't want, like a device, it may not be encrypted. You may not want that device to connect to your application out in cloud, such as Salesforce, Workday, or whatever application, SaaS-based application of your choice. So that's what zero trust really means to me, is just being able to apply these principles to your day-to-day world so that you can protect your users, your devices, and your data and applications.
I think you guys did a great job kicking that off.
Thank you.
I think back to when things were simple, 2007, 2006, and your email server was on-prem and your file server, and you controlled ingress to those systems through a simple password, and you had a firewall, and everything was pretty inside and easy. Well, things definitely aren't that anymore. Things have moved on. We have cloud, and 2020 brought us something a little special in how to think about security and accessing these resources that hold the keys to the kingdom. And so, single sign-on's been around for a while, but zero trust, the next level of securing ingress, knowing the device, knowing the person, and having controlled, secure ingress into those systems. That's what it's all about now. This is taking it across the line. This is touchdown time. We have some tools in place, and now it's getting us over that next hump so we can actually achieve security in this new wild world of no borders.
I love it, Zach. And what I'll add to that is, here at Proofpoint, we focus on people-centric security. I know a lot of people look at us as like an email security, and we are. That's just one of many things that we do. But we focus on where the threats happen. It's the people. 97%, I think it was the Verizon DIBR or whatever that format that they come out with. They literally say 97% attacks happen with people and email. 3% is, with technology and those kind of things that we still care about. But I still think it's super important to have the network security, right? The firewalls, the edge security, all those things for the zero trust. But then that next step and that next level is where the attacks happen. the attacks happen to the people. Because if you go after the people, you get to what they have access to and what those people have access to. So we try to stop it right at the people. What do you think about that, Dennis?
Yeah, absolutely. That is the weakest link in most organizations. And there's a reason why we have cybersecurity awareness training so that, we can educate folks not to fall for the obvious attacks. Of course, you're going to have your technology around doing certain things, but there's some attacks that are really geared towards people weaknesses. When you have the word free in something, okay, be suspicious of that. Free download be something really subscription, those type of things, or something that looks like your bank account, those type of things. The bad guys are engineering their attacks towards people. And I agree with that 1000%. And there are a couple of things that you can do, like I mentioned, cybersecurity awareness training, and Proofpoint has some pieces around there with the technology, which really protects the people. So that is number one. And another way with people is get them to safeguard their passwords. Don't use the same password over and over again, because the bad guys, they compromise one time. They know that you use the same thing over and over again, and you wonder why your bank account has been compromised. Even with MFA, there's things around that, but they have your password. Good luck to you getting that money back. What do you
Dennis,
think,
I
Zach?
got a question for you. Remember
Okay.
Y2K? Do you guys remember Y2K?
Oh, yeah.
To remember that?
Yeah.
So when I did that, I actually was an engineer back then. So yeah, I know it's hard to look at me as an engineer, but I was way a long time ago, right? Don't make fun of me, Zach. So at Y2K, we did this project and we had to go and touch 1,000 machines manually, because we're talking back in Y2K days, right? 90, I think it was 95%. Every keyboard we flipped over had the password underneath the keyboard. Every single one. Yeah, remember those days, right?
Yeah.
So yes, it's important. But back to the security awareness thing, Dennis, I love that you brought that up. I was going to bring that up later. Make the people in your organization part of the solution, not part of the problem. And by doing security awareness training, we make them part of the solution. We want them to be engaged. We want them to understand security, because especially to Zach's point, we all work from everywhere now. Security is everyone's problem. Back in the day, you went into an environment and you had a department of IT, which you still do. You have a security department, all those things still happen. But when you start taking that stuff outside of the environment, like Zach's point, everything was locked down, Exchange servers inside, firewalls inside. When you start getting outside, then you have to make the changes to be part of the solution. Zach, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, for the last 3 minutes while you blocked me out of the conversation. No, I'm just teasing. No, really.
Trying.
This conversation is perfect, because if we just look at 2020, I was working in an MSP as head of cybersecurity, VP of cybersecurity, and it was horrifying. First of all, we had clients that didn't have MFA. Then we were sending home company workstations, desktop computers, to their homes, to an unknown environment where who knows what's going on that network. So you got trust, the exact opposite of zero trust. And so what should your first line of defense be? It's got to be security awareness and training, but we needed tools in place prior to that date. And some companies adapted better because they had good framework in place. And I saw some that really, it was absolutely horrifying to think that they were executing these things that were critical to day-to-day business functions that access PII and PCI. And when we talk about hardening security, there are things we can do that is, not going to totally rock the boat in terms of user interaction with it, but are reasonable steps to take forward and approachable from a cost standpoint. And that's where we're at now. 2020 was the wake-up call, and it's table stakes now to be doing things like MFA and zero trust and conditional access and SAML and cybersecurity awareness training at the top.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.